defines the status of an object? Why do some objects hold greater prestige over others, or the opposite? Why do some objects end up in different hands throughout their existence, sold away, left to gather dust on a shop shelf, with no one left to tell their story? These objects are called antiques. The Oxford Dictionary defines the antique as those that have existed for a long time, having a long history, of great age, old and venerable. But what are those long histories of their great ages? What do they contain, and what stories do they tell?
Hit me with your rhythm stick. Hit me, hit me. Je t'adore, ich liebe dich. Hit me, hit me, hit me. Hit me with your rhythm stick. Hit me slowly, hit me quick. Hit me, hit me, hit me.
I think we're quite green in this shop because basically what we're doing is we're giving them a second life in the way that we're giving them new ownership. So things are, instead of being thrown away, we're actually finding people and places and they're being loved again, basically. So I think it's quite environmentally friendly. Because we're just reusing, repurposing all of the items. So, and I quite like the history. So basically, if something's like 100 years old, who would have used it? And someone would have sat at that table or worn that jacket in the, Edwardian times or whatever period it was. And it's quite nice to think of that and think of the sort of history of the items. So I think it's quite nice rather than just something disposable and new. And I think the younger generation of today don't want that disposable, throwaway type of items. They want things repurposed and some history and sentiment behind items, basically.
So, let's take a look into the history and sentiment of the cane. Before history even had a name and stories were told, there were sticks, simple tools picked up by early primates. Sticks extended reach, helped to access food, and turned the primate into a force to be reckoned with. In time, they became more than survival, they became symbols. As humans evolved, so too did the humble stick, into the staff, the sceptre, and eventually the walking cane, a personal extension of strength, wisdom, and command. The common cane is used by humans and various other species to redistribute weight from the hip, knee, or leg, and to provide tactile information about the ground to improve balance. Its anatomy is made up of various segments, including the crook, the crown, the horn, the valley, the point, the palm rest, the leading edge, the shaft, and the tip.
Down at Godalming in Surrey is a farm with a difference. They don't grow wheat or barley, turnips or mangel wurzels. The only crop they're interested in is walking sticks. Cut and hauled, they're stacked out in the open to get well seasoned. And now comes the tricky part. While the stick is still pliable, a skilled workman gives it a slight bend here, a little twist there, until it's so straight you wouldn't know it hadn't grown that way. And here are some of the almost finished articles. You'll find every type of stick made here, from sleek man-about town affairs to shepherd's crooks and Boy Scout poles. There you are, another batch of sticks walking civilians for the use of.
By the 19th century, the cane was no longer for the frail. It had transformed into a Victorian status symbol, a must-have for the distinguished gentleman. From decorative engravings to coats of arms and jewels, the cane wasn't about support, it was about style and class. Powerful figures embraced the cane's silent authority. Winston Churchill, cane in hand, became an icon of British resilience. The cane had become a badge of leadership and strength. But today, the cane walks a different path.
It's probably the most important physical object I have. My name is Alan Davis. I live in Bristol. I was born and brought up in North Wales some 61 years ago. I lost my sight when I was 14, I think. Yeah, 14. I've worked for various disabled people's organisations. I was a city councillor for Bristol for 7 years. I've been an officer in a local council. I've done various bits of national work, including chairing the Equality, Human Rights, Disability Committee. The main point of the white cane is to detect obstacles. I do believe that using a long cane is a real skill. I believe I'm really good at it, and I'm proud that I'm good at it. So I regard the white cane as inherently part of me in many ways. I think emotionally you connect to it because of its centrality, because of its core need. Now, what would be fascinating would be to ask people who use walking sticks whether they have the same kind of relationship with their walking stick.
Yeah, right, possible.
What's the time?
If you're in a rush or anything.
No.
We'll be very
a few
quick,
minutes.
I promise.
That's all right. Yeah, thanks.
We're good.
Meet you. I'm Will. This is Tom. That's James. That's Harvey.
Hi. You got some?
So if you wouldn't mind.
Can we put that on?
Yes.
I have a very strong relationship now, in that I need it, really.
So would you say that you depend on it in a way?
I do really, actually. Recently, yes, it has to be said.
This means everything because it shows other people that I've got sight problems and that I'm not always seeing clearly, so they need to give me space, and especially with the roads it can save my life really. If people slow up and don't knock me down.
I started using it fairly recently. I suffer from a long-term uncurable disease, which means over time I'm gradually get worse. So good practice, and it's security in case something were to happen.
People around here, I would think.
Yeah, we haven't been too successful today. It's a bit quiet.
Well, I got really bad gout last autumn, so I needed this, which I had to have. And of course not walking very much in the autumn, then started making my knees worse. So I am trying to walk without it, which is where I'm walking along. Well, I was using it as you were watching me, but I'm walking on trying not to use it. But I haven't got to the point of not being able to go out again without it.
How long have you sort of had to depend on it, I suppose?
A couple of months.
I've no compunction at all about using a stick. It doesn't worry me. I feel very comfortable with it because it's got it's got more advantages than disadvantages. There you are. It keeps me going.
Yes.
At 86, I need to keep going.
I love it, and actually it's got a pair, it's got a twin, and I am told I really ought to bring that as well, but you know, you can't.
Want to get rid of it as soon as possible.
Have a lovely day. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Make a good little piece.
We'll try.
What once was a symbol of status remains today as a necessity to many. Its story has passed through generations, being a crutch to many people's lives. It's been a symbol of power in the bourgeoisie, but too leads the blind, the elderly and the nostalgic. Think of all these items in the shop. Beyond just the cane that we bought, each piece has an element of nostalgia. Like the cane, each piece has its own storied past. Every object signals generations of experiences and inheritances. And like the cane, we are one of many, each with our own individual stories and experiences to be told.